Did you know that 95% of adults treat reading like a warm bath? Like it's just something you do to relax at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But what if true reading should actually feel more like martial arts or marathon training?
It's definitely a counterintuitive claim to make right out of the gate, but that is the core premise of The Well-Educated Mind by Susan Wise Bauer. As she argues, a classical education isn't about expensive tuition or elite degrees, it's about a very rigorous, disciplined way of engaging with books.
Right. So here are the most game-changing essential insights from the well-educated mind, practical wisdom that could transform how you think and act. Because, I mean, the idea of reading as a sport sounds exhausting. Why make that distinction?
Well, Bauer notes that we basically have to separate reading for entertainment from reading for actual education. Everything you thought about serious reading is probably wrong. We tend to treat it as a leftover time activity.
Yeah, like falling asleep with a paperback.
Exactly. But you wouldn't train for a marathon by randomly jogging in your pajamas for 10 minutes. As the author explains, serious reading requires a strict schedule. You need blocked out time, you need a notebook, and you need zero distractions.
So no phone notifications buzzing.
Right. People who actually do this, who block out the time, see massive transformations in their retention. If you don't do it, you're basically just letting algorithms and headlines shape your worldview.
Wow, okay. But how do you actually tackle a difficult text without just getting incredibly bored? Well, here is the ancient three-step system applied to modern life.
Yeah, this is Bauer's most actionable framework. It's called the Trivium, Trivem. It breaks reading down into three specific stages: grammar, logic, and rhetoric.
Those definitely sound like dusty high school subjects.
They do, but they're incredibly practical. So rule number one is the grammar stage. You just ask, what does it say? You aren't judging it yet. You're just gathering the facts and defining terms.
Okay, so just getting the baseline. What's step two?
Step two is logic. This is where you play detective and ask, is it true? You interrogate the author's assumptions and look for gaps. Like, if you're reading a political manifesto from the left or the right, doesn't matter. Is there actual evidence linking their points?
Right, checking the structural integrity of the argument. And then rhetoric.
That's the final stage. What do I think? You only form a judgment after you've done the first two steps. Bauer points out that most of us just skip straight to having an opinion.
Oh, totally. We just react instantly. It's basically a defense system for your brain. And speaking of keeping your brain sharp, this is Mindful Moments, our YouTube channel offering AI book analysis, summaries, and critiques, inspiring reflection and rational thought.
Now, once you have this method down, you really have to balance your mental diet, because Bauer warns that reading only one genre makes your worldview completely lopsided.
Lopsided, like an echo chamber.
Yeah, but specifically with genres. She describes different genres as a hall of mirrors. They reflect different truths. If you only read history, you get the structure of the past, but you completely miss the story of people.
Which you'd get from novels.
Exactly. Novels teach empathy. Science situates us in the cosmos. You need to rotate through them to participate in what's called the Great Conversation.
But does this focus on these classic great books exclude important voices? Watch how you can handle the ethics of the canon.
It's a vital question. Bauer's list is admittedly very Western-heavy. But the beautiful thing about her method is that it's deeply democratic. Reading difficult texts isn't some elite talent.
It's a skill anyone can learn.
Right, and it's an ethical commitment. The goal isn't just stuffing your head with facts so you sound smart. It's about cultivating independence so you don't rely on summaries or experts to tell you what to think.
So you can apply the trivium to anything, marginalized voices, modern memoirs, anything.
Precisely. You stop being a passive consumer and you become an equal participant in the dialogue. I love that. Start with our 5-minute essential insights, then dive into the in-depth analysis. Next, the summary, ending with the comprehensive critique.
Discover genre-based book podcasts at Mindful Moments. Subscribe and nourish your mind on the go.